What we're doing here is we're going to be talking about the window sticker first. If you notice that the window sticker here, you have all the standard features on the left side. You have all the optional features on the right side. In this particular case, what you do with a customer is you're going to pick out the things that most interest the customer, and that's what you talk about on the standard features. The optional features should be items that the customer wanted during the interview, so you got them on the right car. So we're going to be reviewing that with the customer. Also, if you look down here, you'll see MPG ratings. You'll notice there's a 22 here, but actually this car gets up to 26 miles per gallon in the city, and also it has 32 on the highway here, but it gets up to what, 38 miles per gallon on the highway. So if you're on level ground, obviously this thing's going to give you better performance than if you're in hilly country. Also, it does have crash ratings. This is a brand new car here. It's not rated yet on the crash in the side, but the rollover is a 4-star. 4 stars about as high as you can get. Okay?
You can find it yourself.
The MSRP on the car is only $23,600. So what we're doing here is we serve up a number, but we don't say it's $23,600. It's just $23,600. Okay? So let's go up in the front. I'll show you some things underneath the hood. In the front end area of the car, if you notice the aerodynamics of the car, it's all rounded in the front. Rounded down, rounded up, rounded around, and even the headlights are rounded. This gives us what we call a low drag coefficient. The lower the number on the scale, the more sleek it is going through the air. So basically the air is going to hit this and go around the car and sector up and over. Underneath the hood here, you got this is a V6 engine. 3.6 or whatever it is. But at any rate, you'll notice some things under the hood here like gas-powered struts. Also underneath the hood here we have the translucent reservoirs, which hold your steering, your brakes, your windshield washer fluid, and also your coolant. If you notice, the coolant's a little different than what it was in the past. It used to be green and they recommended changing your coolant every year. Now this new material is good for 5 years or up to 150,000 miles. Also, the first tune-up on the car isn't due for 100,000 miles. So basically it's pretty much maintenance free except for oil changes. And Toyota has built sensors into this car to tell you when to change your oil depending on your driving situation. When the viscosity of the oil starts breaking down, then it's time to change. The car knows this. They'll notify you on the dashboard, little sensor, and that's when you change your oil. So it's kind of a myth changing your oil at 3,000 miles. Underneath the hood here also you see a color key dipstick. Easy to find. It's going to have a color key transmission. Some transmissions are actually sealed at the factory, so you won't have that. Also, in case of an impact, we have crumple zones built into the hood here. See these little indentations here? These are weak spots. You also have them underneath here in the fenders, little notches. And what happens is if this car gets hit in the front with the safety bolts on the corners here and then in the front, what's going to happen is this hood's going to fold up like a tent, and it will absorb all the energy. Now the fenders and such will fold up like an accordion, so they'll just kind of collapse. Now we learned this from NASCAR. NASCAR people, they hit the wall, they hit another car shreds, guy gets out, walks away. That's because the car absorbs the energy and not the person in the roll cage. You are in a roll cage. All around you is steel, structural steel, keeping you in that car. So a lot of safety built in the car. If this car was ever to hit a bridge embankment or a Mack truck doing about 90, well, obviously it's a major collision. This car has breakaway engine mounts. This engine will not go back and crush you. They'll go down and underneath the firewall and be blown out underneath the car and to the left or to the right. So you're not going to have an engine back in your lap. A lot of safety built into this car. Any questions? Nope? Okay, great. Now I'm going to close this hood. And even there's a seal underneath here too to reduce air drag and also to reduce engine noise and also keep out a lot of dirt and debris in the engine compartment. It seems to collect a lot. Also, you got halogen headlights. You got halogen headlights here, but you also have shatterproof lenses. This is the same material that's used in jet fighter aircraft. You can hit this with a hammer, throw rocks at it, and they're not going to break like the old glass. Also, if you look at the hood and everything is aerodynamic. It's meant for the air to fly over it and flow over it. Also, you have a little edge right here to keep the water from coming around on the side windows. So what's happened is water will hit the hood, and the windows are a lot more sloped than they used to be. The water will track up and over. There's a track right here to keep the rain from, falling in your hair when you open up the door. Also, you got 5 spoke cast aluminum wheels. The mirrors here, these are aerodynamic as well. You notice they're aimed away. They're bullet shaped or arrow shaped. So the air hits it, kind of splits, and also it's forced away from the glass. Another safety feature Toyota's got in these cars are what we call steel beams. These are intrusion beams. They'll protect you from side impact collisions. Now, along with the steel beams in the doors to protect you, you'll also have side airbags, frontal airbags, knee bags. You got bags galore in this car. So this is what's going to protect you in those side impact collisions where most people say don't survive. Those are the major accidents. So a lot of safety built into this car. Fit and finish of the car, if you look at the seams on the car, you look at the fit, the gap here is the same gap at the bottom, the same gap here is the same gap there. Reason being is because the welds that these cars are done at the factory, they're all done robotically. There's no human, there's no bad Mondays or anything like this, guy with a welding machine. These things are built precision. Also the paint, not a person touches the paint. These are all done by robots. They got a beautiful clear coat on them, not easy maintenance. You never have to fool around waxing them and taking care of it that way. So it's a beautiful car. You don't have any orange peel or anything like that like you used to in the past. So great automobile. So come on back. Obviously your fuel door is on the left side. It does have an inside fuel door release just inside the door there. It's always good to know how to open and close the fuel door. The trunk here, it's cut right on the bumper line, if you notice. That makes it easy for you to put things in and out. In the old days, it kind of came across here and you had to drop things into it. And really, you had a big old spare tire there. Now you don't. You got a lot of room in this trunk. Said you were a golfer, you can put 3 or 4 sets of golf clubs in here with no problem. For the Home Depoters and the Lowe's people, you can put 2x4s, 2x6s, or whatever, all the way up to the front, even 9-footers. So there's plenty of room for the do-it-yourselfers. Also, your spare tire is down below. It is a spare tire. It's a hard rubber tire, but it is the same diameter as your outside tire. A few years ago, it used to be a lot smaller, and you used to have to go down the road kind of cockeyed, and it was unsafe. You could only go 30, 40 miles an hour with it. These tires today, you can go 55 miles an hour, no problem, and they're good for about 3,000 miles. So you got plenty of room to get a tire fixed. Obviously, 3,000 miles about the distance from New York to LA. So I'm sure there's a few gas stations in between. You also have an inside trunk release in here. In case something would happen, you just pull that ripcord. It's going to release there. You can't see it, but it's underneath here. You see it glows in the dark, so it's easy to find. These are kind of handy too. A lot of cars don't have them. They release the seats, so the seats fold down. This is a 60/40 seat back here, so you can put 2 people on this side, 1 on that side. You can put either one down and put your skis, your water skis, your 2x4s all the way up to the front. So plenty of room back here. You also have a little storage area here on the left, and you can tell it's beautifully finished. Has a carpet mat on the outside. If it gets a little dirty, just take that out, clean it, throw it back in. So even though the locks here are down inside here, so if you're sliding something in, it's not going to get hung up. So they really thought about everything when they put this car together. Also, if you close the rear deck here, you got huge taillights. And obviously you want to have you want to be visible to the people behind you. You also want to have large reverse lights. One of the problems today is some of these cars got small reverse lights and you're backing up, you can't see. Also, it's a full, when I say full, it takes up the whole back window here, your rear defogger. So it's not cut off on the side someplace when you get blind areas. So it really gives you a lot of effectiveness. If you see that little antenna there, every Toyota comes now with a XM radio, XM Sirius radio, and you'll have a subscription to that for 6 months, and then you can subscribe. Losing my voice. So at any rate, Mr. Customer, why don't you have a seat inside? Okay. Now I'm going to put him in the back seat here, especially if it's a husband and wife. I'll probably put her in the back, and I'll probably put him in the front. But if it's a she, I'll talk about some of the features in the back. So come on up. Also, you got child-proof locks right here in the door. You can set those. 3-point safety belt feature in the back. Okay, then you open up the door, have a seat inside. Have a seat inside, ma'am. So now what you do is you talk about show and tell. What you see is what you talk about. On her side, I'm going to close the door, and then I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm going to get into the driver's side.
Stay around here now.
It doesn't matter. While I'm on the inside of the car, what we're going to be talking about is whatever you see. Now I see controls here for what? The radio. Volume controls, I can switch the stations, etc. So I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about, for example, the cup holders. I'm going to be talking about extra storage area. I can talk about how she can put her CDs in here. I'll talk about the fact that it's assist this CD player. I'll talk about the fact that it maybe have lighted mirrors, okay? In other words, whatever you see, you talk about. You can talk about the storage compartments. You can also talk about the fact that it may have two receptacles for 12 volt. And some cars even have 110 volts. But at any rate, this here is adjustable. You can put big drinks in it or little drinks or etc. Show her how the tilt wheel works, just where everything is located on the door panels, how to open the hood. You know, it's show and tell. You show people how it works. Up here you got sunglasses. You can actually, some of these cars you can put your garage door opener up there and even have it programmed. So, you know, those are just some of the features. And I'm going to show her how the shift lock mechanism works. Hey, go ahead and put your hand on there. Try to pull it back into gear. Won't go, will it? What I have to do in order to shift out of lock into drive, and so now I can put my foot on the brake. Go ahead and grab it, and I want you to pull it back, okay? Now, when she pulls it back, it goes into drive. I take my foot off the brake. I'm going to take off. The car's running. I'm just going to step on the gas, and we're going to do what we call the kidnap procedure. That makes sense? We're off and running, and then I'm going to basically give her a little bit more information about the car, stop at the halfway point, let her take over, and then I'm only going to give her directions, answer questions, and let her enjoy the car. Let her sell herself on the car. Does that make sense? That's how this all plays out. Pretty good. Pretty good, huh?
Yep.